This is the Business Talk with Puseletso at Radical FM 103.5 megahertz every Tuesday at 4:30 till 5 p.m. Helping people realize what is hindering their business growth.
We are back, and I'm here with my guest, Mr. Mudimogale, who is the expert on our topic today. How could SMMEs use ICT to become competitive in South Africa? I must say, if there is one person that I know who is very much passionate about gadgets, technology, and the use of technology to advance our businesses, is Mr. Mudimogale. He himself has written a thesis on when he was doing his master's, and the topic was, how could SMEs use ICT to become competitive in South Africa? Please let us welcome Mr. Mudimogale. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Nice to be here.
Thank you so much for accepting the invite. You are my first guest on our second episode of Business Talk with Puseletso. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
So, let's. What inspired this topic?
My thesis.
Yes, your thesis.
Yeah. Look, I've always been passionate about small business, and I've always been passionate about technology. So a fusion of the two is what inspired me. Because as a small kid, I've always done business. And I've always liked, I remember there was a program called Beyond 2000. I mean, I used to be glued on the screen just watching future technologies. Mm-hmm. So that's what inspired me.
Wow. So while you were busy doing your research, while you were coming up with all the understanding on how this topic can be unpacked, what were your findings?
Yeah, look, with this topic, the key thing that I wanted to achieve, first of all, is that, look, the world is changing, and I'm sure everyone can see it. And part of the key drivers of the change of the world is ICT, which stands for Information and Communication Technology. That has actually given the rise to the digital age, right? So now we are in an era where everything is digital. As you know, you order your pizza via your apps, and you do all these things. So I was just thinking that small businesses need to get into the play, so that they can advance. Because actually, ICT, one thing that I've realized with it is that it can actually make you compete with big business if you employ it very well, right? So now my findings on the research, it was exactly that, to say, look, a lot of small business in South Africa are not investing enough in ICT, and when they do have ICT, it's haphazard. It's implemented haphazardly. It's not a strategic move. It's I need this, let me get it. Mm-hmm. I need this, let me get it.
Yeah.
It's not a deliberate and a strategic move. So what my research was trying to also come up with is that what could be done in order to solve the problem. One of the key things that I've identified is that, look, with big business, most of them, they tend to have an IT department,
yeah,
where IT focuses on IT aspects.
Yes.
But with a lot of small business, generally it's the owner manages, and the owner does everything. Yes. Most of the time.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's the IT manager, he's the salesperson, he's everything in the business.
Yeah.
So there's no role duplication or the role clarification.
Yes.
And so that in itself causes a problem,
mm-hmm.
right? So what we needed to do, and remember, generally the business owners are not even knowledgeable about IT, right? Mm-hmm. So my findings was that, look, they need to have an IT person or something at a strategic level which helps them to model their business, right? And my proposal was sort of like a virtual CIO, because in most of the big organization, they call them the CIO, Chief Information Officer, right?
Okay.
So the idea was that if small business could use a service like that of a Chief Information Officer, right, who's not only looking at one company but looking at multiple companies, right,
I hear.
to give them advice. They come to them, they show them the plans, the strategy. The Chief Information Officer comes and sort of like helps the business or the small business person to sort of like direct their business using IT, formulate an IT strategy to say this is how you're supposed to go with your business, and they buy into it. And yeah, so that was one of my recommendations on that research.
Wow, that is quite powerful, because we don't think like that, and you have mentioned that it's very important as SMMEs to have a chief information officer to be part of our strategic level. We never think that is important. We think we only look for IT when we are experiencing problem, and hence I think your advice is quite valuable. But how many people out there are positioned to assist SMMEs as chief information officers? Because sometimes maybe we don't know them.
Yeah, look, generally, I mean, to employ somebody of that caliber as a small business, it will hit your budget. So generally, hence I say, if you do it as a service from somebody, like, you know, I have a company called Indian Systems. We do that type of service where we offer, you know, SMEs advice on technology and develop a strategy. But if you can employ somebody at a higher, you know, level in terms of IT strategy to come be part of your business. It depends anyway on your growth level. Where are you? You know, but there are people who can do that, but obviously they don't come cheap. As you can know, this is a skill which is in demand, so they don't come cheap.
I hear.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give us? Let's start with a small gadget like a cell phone that we all have. How can we use our cell phones to become more efficient in our own businesses?
Look, it depends. It depends on how you want to use the cell phone. First of all, I always say to people, technology should never drive your business. Your business model needs to drive technology. So the question is that what is your business doing? What is the service that the business does? Offering, right? Then once we establish that, then we say, how best can you, because remember, technology can, a cell phone, it's a mobile app, it's a mobile device.
It's a mobile device,
Yeah.
yes.
It being a mobile device, it gives you, it says you can work on the go, right? So it can be, in your business, it's a tool that you use to work on the go. On another person's business, it can be your storefront, where people enter to see your store. So it depends. It really depends on, you know, what is it? What is your business doing? And we then say, do you need mobile capability? If you need mobile capability, we can identify what type of mobile capability. Then, you know, advise you accordingly. So which mobile capability cell phone falls in that?
The world is evolving and it's pushing us so fast as SMMEs. It's like we are not catching up. There's a new term that everybody is talking about, and I've heard you speak about it so many times. It's called digitalizing. What is digitalizing?
Look, there are two ways. There's digitalization and there's digitalizing.
Okay.
Those are two different terms. Digitizing is when you turn your analog, you know, services, you know, like before the phones were those ones where you used to dry a circle. You know, the numbers, those were analog, right? Right now you just press a button. That's digital. So digitalizing is when you take your old equipment, which are more analog based type of technology, making them digital. When you make them digital, it makes it easy for them to now talk to computers. That's why you would want to make them digital. So you might find that you have you run a small plant of manufacturing, I don't know, boilers or something. So you might find that a lot of equipment you are using are old stuff, you know, which still use analog. So you would need to digitalize them, but you would need to come up with to see what you have, what you don't have. Digitalize it so that now it can be read by a computer. Once it gets read by a computer, then now we can do things with it. We can switch it off remotely and stuff. Now the other part that I spoke is digitalization. Digitalization is now where the virtual world and the real world are sort of, they come together. All right. They become. I mean, let's take a classic example. Uber. Uber is a form of digitalization. Remember, the old way of doing taxis was you call, you wait, or you go to a spot. Now, what do?
We use our technology.
You use your technology. So your technology is in the palm of your hands. At the touch of a button, a taxi comes to you. So those two worlds have merged. You know, so digitalization is the merging of two worlds, of your digital world and your physical world to become one. And there are different scenarios that you can apply on how these worlds merge. You can be a graphic designer and do your models, you know, show your clients the models using digital devices like your virtual glasses and stuff like that, where they can be in their house without being in their house, something like that. Yeah.
Wow, it seems like there's a lot that we can talk about on this topic.
Yeah, there's so many stuff. There's so much stuff. It's endless, actually.
Yeah.
We just need to explore. But I always say to everyone, the key thing. Business, your business strategy leads technology, not the other way around. There's an organization called Gartner. Gartner says every business is now a digital business because of digitalization, because the world is so now integrated. Yeah? So it says every business is a digital business, meaning that almost every business will operate in a digital way. In one way or another, in this day and age. Yeah.
So I've seen you consult with many entrepreneurs and big business, small business, and you have been giving them a lot of advice. You take them through a clinic where you can see what they are using in their businesses, and you give them advice if the use of the technology or the choice of gadgets or technology that they are using is suitable for this or technology as small businesses.
Yeah, we listen to everyone. We listen to sales pitch, which in itself there's nothing wrong with it. Especially when you're still small, there's really nothing wrong with it. The only problem is that if you're not deliberate about it, is that when you grow, that becomes a problem, because you would have so many different technologies implemented in your organization,
consolidated or comprehensive,
and you have a lot of your data. Because remember, technology is it's a free way of data. It's all about information, right? So it has a lot of your data
scattered all over the place.
Yeah. Now the problem is that now, how do you now move them from that space to another? It becomes another expensive exercise. It becomes another thing, right? That's why we have legacy systems, we have new systems. So it's always important to seek proper advice so that you are deliberate in your action. But when you are still small and you can always maneuver, there's probably a room of you getting out of it. But I would say the earlier you start, the better. I mean, half of the businesses, small business, might actually not. Well, let me just say this: most businesses will not exist in the next 10. Half of the businesses that we know won't exist in the next 10 years.
Wow.
Because digitalization and technology is changing the landscape. I mean, you look at now what's happening. I don't know if you still remember in the olden days, the parking business, right? You used to have somebody who's employed to receive your money, and when you go out, get a ticket. When you go out, you pay there. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You get a ticket from a machine, you pay in a machine.
And we even use a credit card now.
Yeah. Then you look at movies. At the movies, we used to go and stand in long queues. Right now, you can actually
book your own movie
on an app. Just pick up a ticket when you get there. Go to self-service, pick up, order your popcorn, everything. Just pick it up. Wow. You just pick up, right? So the business model is changing. So a lot of small business, they start looking only on the physical aspects. I'm selling magwinya, or they are not thinking, how is this model not going to work in the next 5 years? There's 3D printing is here. In the future, in the very near future, you'll be printing a burger. You'll be hungry. I'll be able to print a burger and eat it.
Wow.
A McDonald's burger. You'll buy sort of like it will be sort of like a ink, but that's food. It's food basically. You'll be buying that from McDonald's, so they would have put the ingredients for meat, for ink, but in an ink format, in a paste format, right? Which this paste, you just plug it into your printer, then it prints the burger. So you just print the burger, eat, and it's like you're eating McDonald's.
Right now as I'm listening to you, I think we need to watch your talks on YouTube, and we need to hear a lot about you. When are we having this channel of the Chief Information Officer, Lloyd Mudimokhale?
Look, right now I'm busy establishing a channel called Gadget Man, but that one is more of advisory on gadgets, nothing strategic or anything like that. The strategic aspects of if you need help, go to Indian Systems. My details are there. Indian Systems is ENDIAN, then Systems. Then my details are there. Then I can come in, look at your business model, and let's see how do we digitalize your business model.
Are you on any social media?
Yes, I am. As Lloyd Mudimokhale.
On Facebook,
yes.
You can be reachable there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll also attach your link in terms of how people can access you. But how long in advance can people make bookings in terms of consulting with you to look into their business?
No, they just need to give me a call so that I can check my schedule. I can't really say, but.
Are you comfortable in giving your numbers now so that people can call you, either for information, technology advisory, or for speaking at their business functions?
My website is the best. www.indiansys, ENDIANSYS.co.za. Indiansys.co.za.
Thank you so much.
All my details are there.
We can go on and on.
Also, my email address. Let me give you my email address. Is modimoll@indiansys.co.za.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mudimokhale. It was such a pleasure. I've learned a lot myself, and I hope you will come back again as my guest, because there's a lot that we still need to talk about. We are looking in the world of robotic. We are looking in the world of visual ordering stuff online. All these things that are amazing for us to understand how we can package and strategically position ourselves. That's all for me this afternoon. I hope you have learned a lot, and this session, it was so powerful. Guys, we need to be informed so that we can run successful businesses. This is Puseletso Mudimokhale, and as usual, please let's connect on our social media page, Radical FM Global, or come and talk to me personally on my Facebook page, which is Transformational Talk with Puseletso Modimokhale. I am your girl this afternoon. I want to say, do business smartly and be smart in your decisions. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you.